Hello everyone, it's your friendly neighborhood demigod lover here, and today I'm going to be talking about Disney Plus adapting Percy Jackson. It's basically tradition for everyone involved with the Percy Jackson fandom to be talking about this now. I mean, I know it's been public for a couple of weeks, but I still gotta talk about it. Okay, so this is more of just a message to Disney Plus than anything else, basically just telling them, here's what we want to see in this adaptation. So first off, Disney Plus, formal thank you for agreeing to adapt Percy Jackson. Believe me, we're all very, very happy about this. Second off, if I may apologize for some people in the fandom who may be a little bit threatening towards you regarding you getting this adaptation right. Please understand, our interactions with the film adaptation industry in the past haven't really gone very well. We ended up getting abominations instead of adaptations. So just please be understanding of that. Next up, I want to say, if you don't do this well, there will be consequences. I know we're only talking about Percy Jackson, not Heroes of Olympus right now, but if the Percy Jackson series actually ends up being successful and you decide to move on to doing Heroes of Olympus, just a small little piece of advice for you. You better respect the diversity of the characters. All the diversities of the characters, or I will judo flip you harder than Annabeth judo flip Percy in your Rome and yeet your ass into Tartarus. Do we understand each other? Okay, good. Now let's actually talk about Percy Jackson. People are generally very excited about this new adaptation, and they're especially excited to hear that Riordan will actually be involved with it this time, so that's good. Hopefully that means we'll actually get what we want to see in this adaptation. It kind of makes sense that Percy Jackson would be adapted as a TV show rather than movies, because if you want to include all the different scenes and locations that were in the books, or almost all the different scenes and locations in the books, you would need a little more than an hour and a half. Now, a lot of people have been requesting a very, very faithful adaptation. They have very specific ideas about everything they want included. They want the episode titles to be chapter titles. They want all the specific stuff. And I am in agreement with most people's ideas, but I do think you guys are being just a about this. Now, I'm not going to be going into specific details about small little moments that I want to be included in the adaptation, but more just the general things that I want to be included. Now, first of all, Disney, please include the diversities of the characters. I know there isn't that much diversity in the original Percy Jackson books, like excluding Heroes of Olympus and stuff like that, but there still is some. In terms of diverse backgrounds, like these characters provide representation for kids who've had abusive family members, kids who've been homeless, kids who suffer from learning disabilities, just all sorts of different kids. That's what makes the series what it is. Also, speaking of kids, for the love of God, please cast 12-year-olds. From what I've heard, they plan to cast 12-year-olds, so that's great, but please stick to that. Also, Disney, one really important thing. What Rick wants, Rick gets. I'm really glad that they've decided to let Riordan be one of the head honchos on this project. I just really hope they actually listen to him and they don't force him to whitewash the characters or stuff like that, because no. Don't do that. I'm not going to talk too much about Heroes of Olympus because they might not even adapt those, and if they do, it's going to be over 5 years from now. But I am going to say that the character diversities in Heroes of Olympus are very important. It's actually important to some of the characters. Hyper was bullied by the kids at the wilderness school for being Native American. Hazel grew up in the 1940s when there was a lot of racial prejudice. Leo and Frank don't encounter any specific discrimination for their diversities, but Frank's harsh Chinese grandmother is a great bit of comic relief that is seriously underrated. Leo being Hispanic is just such a sweet part of his character, and why would you want to exclude that? And of course, there's a whole thing with Nico. I need not elaborate on that. The main thing that I want to talk about here is minor characters. Disney, please, for the love of Mary, Jesus, and Joseph, include the minor characters. They are important to the story. That was one thing that the Percy Jackson movies screwed up, is they didn't include the minor characters. They only included Clarice when she actually became relevant to the basic plot of the story in Sea of Monsters. And even so, they didn't include all our favorite lovable side characters like the Stoll brothers, Selena Beauregard, Charles Beckendorf, Katie Gardner, all those lovable side characters that we just love to see. The side characters really tie the story together. It's what makes the setting feel so real. And it's also where a lot of the diversities come from. Now, look, I'm not going to be picky about the appearances of the minor characters. I'm not going to throw a fit if you happen to cast a white guy to play Charles Beckendorf, or you happen to cast a non-plus size actress to play Clarice. But generally, include the diversities. You don't have to include the specific appearances in the minor characters, and this is just an example, if, for example, you make Charles Beckendorf white, make Selena Beauregard black, or something like that. My point is, include the diversities in general. I don't want to be picky about the appearances in the minor characters, but including diversities is so important. important because it's why the series has touched so many people. It's allowed so many kids to see themselves in one character or another, and it's let all of them know that they're not alone. So I'm not going to be picky about the appearances of the minor characters, but generally have a diverse cast. So quick reminder in case you've forgotten, Clarice is plus size, Charles Beckendorf is black, and the D'Angelos are Italian. Now, I don't think they'll exclude the thing about Bianca and Nico being Italian because it isn't even very relevant to the story in the books. It's literally just their last name, which happens to be Italian sounding. Like, if Disney is so scared of including diversity that they're gonna bother to change that detail, I will be seriously disappointed in Disney. But whatever. There's a few things that I really hope Disney will include, like the blue food. Let me tell you something. The blue food is not just a surface joke like you drool when you sleep. I love you drool when you sleep. Blue food is more than just some random joke. It actually has importance. It is Percy and Sally's escape from a difficult home life with Gabe. It is important to the story. Blue food is so important to them. Even when Percy's mom is gone, he still eats blue food because it just makes him happy inside. When Percy's memories are completely wiped in Son of Neptune, he has the blue food, he has the blue cherry soda, and he doesn't know why, but it makes him happy. Blue food is so important to Percy Jackson because it's just important. It's why we connect to Sally Jackson as a character. It's just important, okay? Please do not exclude the blue food. As for the appearances of the characters, I've noticed a lot of people being very picky about the appearances of the characters, and I do stand with that, but I only stand with that for some of the characters. Percy, for example, just please include the sea green eyes. Okay, just the sea green eyes, they're just such a staple of Percy. They're why everyone is attracted to him. Annabeth, Rachel, Calypso, Nico, Reyna, they're all attracted to him because of his gorgeous sea green eyes. The sea green eyes are important, okay? Annabeth, also, blonde hair, gray eyes. The only reason I say this is because there's already a fandom out there that often portrays Percy and Annabeth with these characteristics. And though Grover and Tyson and the other characters are often portrayed in fan art as well, Percy and Annabeth's appearances are much more defined because we've just seen so much of them in the series. So please, for the love of God, Percy needs his sea green eyes, Annabeth needs her blonde hair and gray eyes. Also, please make Thalia look punk. I do also hope they get Nico's appearance right, but he's not in The Lightning Thief, so we're not going to talk about that right now. Also, Luke. I really don't care how you make Luke look, but please remember he has a scar. There's a scar across his face. Just please remember that one detail, Disney. Just please. I don't like being too picky about the appearances of the characters because I think we have bigger things to worry about in terms of this adaptation. But please, give Percy his sea green eyes. Give Annabeth her blonde hair and gray eyes. If you have a flashback with Thalia in season 1, please make her look punk. And please give Luke the scar across his face. Also, Disney, if you even think about trying to downplay the character's trauma to make it more family-friendly, Tartarus is still entirely an option. The characters went through a lot of crap. That's why we connect them as readers. In real life, you don't try to downplay someone's trauma. I want you to remember, Annabeth was 7 years old when she ran away. Percy was 12 and having to deal with Gabe, and these characters are children going through trauma. Okay, I know you plan on casting 12-year-olds, which is good, but please remember, these characters went through a lot of trauma, and the fact that they are children going through these traumas is not irrelevant. And again, about the minor characters, include them. Give us Connor and Travis and all their goofy shenanigans. Give us Selena and Charles Beckendorf as a couple, now I'm not sure if all the minor characters of the series are introduced in The Lightning Thief, but please just give the minor characters some attention, okay? I know they're only minor characters, but please give our side demigods some love. Give them the love they deserve. Also, the gods. I am very, very worried that they're going to portray the gods horribly. The thing with the gods, some of them care for their kids, but they don't let it show. They're not there for their kids very often. It's in their nature as gods, and they don't try to justify it. In the first book, after Percy saves the gods from going to war and basically saves his dad's ass, Poseidon literally tells Percy that he's sorry that Percy ever existed. Please acknowledge this. The gods don't know how to care. And that's important, especially in the later seasons when it comes to Nico and Hades. Sure, Poseidon has some great character development in learning how to care about Percy, but that's just it. It's character development. He learns throughout the books to care more about Percy, to be there for him a little bit more. But their relationship is still not perfect. It's still distant and uncomfortable because Poseidon still isn't really a dad to Percy. He didn't raise him. He's not a dad to Percy. Percy's dad is Paul a lot more than it is Poseidon. I'm just very, very worried that they're going to portray the gods wrong. In the movies, Poseidon desperately wanted to be there for Percy, but was under direct orders that he could not. And personally, I do not trust Disney to portray the characters of the gods right, okay? Some of the gods do care a little bit about their children, but they don't really know how to be there for them. They don't know how to be parents. And that is important because it's part of Poseidon's character development in there. He still has a distant and uncomfortable relationship with Percy, as you would expect a god and demigod to have. But at least it's better by the end of the series. The gods don't do a complete 180 at the end of The Last Olympian. They're still distant parents who aren't present in their children's lives, but they learn to care a little bit more now, or at least to claim their kids. At least so their kids don't grow to completely hate their godly parents, like what happened to Luke. That was Luke's dying wish to Percy, is to not let what happened to him and Ethan happen to other people. And that is why Percy makes the Olympians change their laws. Now again, I know this is The Last Olympian, not The Lightning Thief, but the point is that it's a large overarching story. The things that you include in The Lightning Thief have to make sense with how the series progresses and how things end up at the end of The Last Olympian. So please remember that how you portray the gods in the first seasons is very, very important to the series in general. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I love that we're getting this adaptation, and Disney Plus, if you don't do it justice, I will yeet your ass into Tartarus. And yeah, I guess that's all I have for you guys today, so don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This has been the Demigod Lover, and I'll see you all next time.